Hello, my name is METİN Arıdaşar. This is 185th part of explanation of my theory. According to my theory and my formulas, physicists' Blackbody picture is wrong. Yes. What do you see here? Nothing. What do you see here? Nothing. What do you see here? Nothing. This is the only thing. This is meta-sensation perception matter that you can never see directly. This is the plenum. This is absolute fullness. Your nothingness illusion is nothing but boundary of your sensation and perception. Nothing is nothing but not to sense. Nothing is nothing but metaphysics of your accepted physics theories. Now, there is no light. Now, there is absolute dark. Now, there is absolute cold. It is at absolute zero temperature. Meta-sensation perception matter is at absolute zero temperature here. Now there is no heat and no temperature. There is no light. There is no gravitation. There is no subjective reality that we share with all living species. There is no life. But there are still eternal, intrinsic, regular, perpetual motion forms belong to meta-sensation perception matter that we can never see, even if we sense and assume that we live. Meta-sensation perception matter has eternal intrinsic motion forms that you can never see directly. Now, suppose we see these forms that we can see only with our mind eye. Yes. This represents hydrogen atom in the darkness. One proton. Here, electron motion forms make joint motion with one single proton. Hydrogen, lithium, helium, lithium, say. Okay. In fact, we don't see directly. Motion forms, intrinsic motion forms of meta-sensation perception matter. Don't think like Parmenides from antique Greece, a philosopher. Motionless, single existence. No, meta-sensation perception matter has intrinsic motion forms, eternal motion forms, eternal motions. This is the new that I put forth. Yes. Now its electron motion forms have their highest energy and mass values. In these conditions, metasensation perception matter is its in-balance situation, absolute balance situation. Yes. The boundary of an electron motion form's body form is nothing but an intrinsic motion form of metasensation perception matter. Except free electron motion forms that are sources of effective successive waves type light, all proton-bound electron motion forms and all atoms are black bodies. Okay? Say, here, free electron motion form and its successive waves effective, here, proton-bound electron motion form. Successive waves affect proton-bound electron motion form and they make enlarge them. When they vanish, proton-bound enlarged electron motion form again shrinks, and while shrinking, pour out and push a single wave pulse emission line. Okay? Remember from my former videos. Yes. All proton-bound electron motion forms and all atoms are black bodies. Unless free electron motion forms successive waves affect it, a black body, whether it is only a single proton-bound electron motion form or an object consisted of countless proton-bound electron motion forms connected with atoms, cannot produce light itself spontaneously. A proton-bound electron motion form cannot produce single wave pulse light emission line spontaneously. Blackbody radiation is nothing but characteristic emission light or line pulses of proton-bound electron motion forms under the influence of successive waves of free electron motion forms. This type light has nothing to do with continuous spectrum. Continuous spectrum. No. A black body cannot produce continuous spectrum. A black body, say, a proton-bound electron motion form, can only produce a single wave pulse under the influence of successive waves of free electron motion form, and this continuous spectrum belongs to free electron motion form, in motion free electron motion form. And emission lines or absorption lines like this. This is absorption line sample or emission line sample coincide with free electron motion forms, successive waves, continuous spectrum. Okay. This is line spectra, emission line. Okay. Proton-bound electron motion form produces these. Free electron motion form successive waves produce this. Okay, line, single wave pulse. But this is the carrier. Now I will go on to explain you. Then snapshot 1. Snapshot 1, meta sensation perception matter. Snapshot 2, yes. Now snapshot 3. I advise you to notice. Okay? Proton-bound electron motion form is constituent part of a hydrogen atom. At its initial undisturbed imbalance situation at 91.155 nanometer wavelength, it perpetually goes on, cycling as a spherical ring-shaped motion form at its highest point energy and mass values in that absolute zero temperature, absolute cold, no gravitation, no light, no heat, no temperature situation of there is no free electron motion forms. In these conditions, it goes on, and like this, another motion forms go on their cycles, okay, at higher value energies, point energies, at highest value energies and masses values. Yes. Now, like this, a free electron motion form, say, instantaneous. What instantaneous? This is initial wavelength in balance situation, electron motion form. But when free electron motion forms, successive waves come in, and when free electron motion forms, successive waves make this in balance initial wavelength electron motion form, proton-bound electron motion form expand like this. First wave of itself, electron motion form, free electron motion form effective, and second one, this is instantaneous, come in and make this expand at the rate of squared wave number 91.155 nanometer initial wavelength size proton-bound electron motion form. Now enlarge, expand to 364.62 nanometer. Instantaneous of expanded proton-bound electron motion form by the effect of free electron motion form's second successive wave. When this wave vanishes, then it shrinks again, former shape. Then while shrinking, it produces and pushes a single wave light emission pulse. Emission light pulse. Like this, like this, like this. Like this, like this. Not like this. Not like this. Like spike, okay. single wave pulse, characteristic emission lines. Okay? Yes. Snapshot. Snapshot. Snapshot. Okay, okay, okay. Now, I'm so sorry. Yes. Blackbody radiation is nothing but characteristic emission light or line pulses of proton-bound electron motion forms under the influence of successive waves of free electron motion forms. This type light has nothing to do with continuous spectrum. Blackbody radiation doesn't represent continuous spectrum. This continuous spectrum graph is not product of any blackbody object. Each continuous spectrum belongs to a specific initial wavelength size kind and a specific single constant frequency kind free electron motion form that is in motion. A continuous spectrum is not a mixture of lights that have different frequencies. A continuous spectrum represents a specific kind free electron motion form that is in motion at a certain velocity. Without frequency changing, velocity, light velocity and wavelength at each point of successive waves in each direction are variable in the continuum. These are represented by a continuous spectrum. All continuous spectrums, if they coincide, can carry all single wave pulses, emission lines of proton-bound electron motion forms. Continuous spectrums are carriers of characteristic emission lines. Unless free electron motion forms continuous spectrums carry the emission lines of proton-bound electron motion forms, emission lines can never be arranged and can never come out in a regular scale and a regular stream. Finally, ping-pong light particles. Finally, this famous picture, there is a leg, needle leg, okay, and light coming and reflect inside of them, come in and striking ping pong particle or whatever. Finally, ping pong light particles that randomly collide with the inner surface of a black body picture is completely wrong. Also, instead of you can imagine that after interaction with outer free electron motion forms successive waves, some part of proton-bound electron motion forms are free, not only inside of blackbody. Lastly, I advise you to watch my former videos, but I repeat again, here, okay, 90 degrees